All righty, what is up, college baseball fans? Welcome to another episode of the 11.7 podcast, weekend number 13 preview episode. And it's brought to you by Home Field Apparel. Use our promo code CWS25, 15% off your first order there. Check out all the retro vintage stuff that they have for over 150 colleges across the country. I'm repping the Ole Miss. Sorry, Mississippi State fans. Sorry, LSU fans and everybody else in the SEC. It's a sweet pinstripe jersey sent to me from Home Field Apparel. They have tons of different team pullover jerseys like this, retro hats, t-shirts, jackets, bomber jackets, everything. Homefieldapparel.com. Use promo code CWS25 for 15% off. All right, we got the whole crew here today. Structure of the show. Weekend series pick'em. Instead of 6, we did 9 because we're doing it bigger and better than ever this week. We want to give people a chance to catch up in the standings. That's how we're going to start off the show. And then after that, we're going to do, I guess, more, I would say, midweek recap. There wasn't a ton that happened this midweek. More of just deep dives into scenarios that we think could be playing out later in the season or after this season. And we'll also touch on some other series that are not in our weekend series pick'em. So you guys stay tuned there. I do want to give a shout out to Noah down there in the bottom left corner on our YouTube. Him, myself, and Rocco Miller did a Field of 64 projection last night around midnight. And I think it turned out pretty good. Dimitri hated it, so we will also discuss that later in the show after Jack hops off so he can go on too with his girlfriend. So the Field of 64 we will also pull up on the YouTube, and Dimitri can outcast his thoughts and opinions that he thinks that we messed up. But you guys check out that YouTube video as well. But anyways, any opening statements from anybody before we let Noah dive into the weekend series pick'em? Dimitri, go ahead.
You said 9 series this week for people to catch up. Like who? Like who needs to catch up?
Me. I'm almost below 500. This is for me.
Okay. I didn't know because I don't need to catch up, so I didn't know what you were talking about.
Well, you have to make a survivor pick. Don't forget.
Hey, did you notice the survivor board I did?
No.
It's not all 9 series. 3 series.
3 series, and it's just between yourself and is it Wilkes?
Wilkes. Or Wilkes.
Wilkes.
Yeah.
What were the 3 series?
I don't even remember. We'll find out when I pull it up later in this show.
Great start.
I literally don't even remember.
The only other thing I want to say before we start the weekend series pick'em preview, Jack, you got to meet Scott Van Pelt and Stanford Steve last night. I'm very jealous. When are they coming on the podcast?
They should be actually here in about 15 to 20 minutes. I know that they've got like some show that they usually do in about an hour, but they said that they would make nothing but time for the greatest college baseball podcast and nothing but the land that is 11.7. So I missed you guys, man. That was my opening statement. I missed 2 shows last week. I've never missed consecutive shows. I don't know if I've missed 2 shows since I started in a year and a half, but big sleepy kitty, and it won't happen again, boys. I missed the fan, but last night it was a pretty good night. I did ask him right after this shot, and for our listeners at home, Ben has pulled up the video of Stanford Steve guzzling a Bud Light right in front of me. 18 ounce guy too. Make sure to show the guy some love. He's a tank. And I did tell him right afterwards, I go, are you ready to shotgun one? And he goes, we got a lot of puck in front of us before we go there. So it was a magical night for sure.
Yeah, your girlfriend Natalie is getting Mike Wazowski'd right now. Just totally covered up from the beer. Like that is Mike Wazowski.
She is. You did mention it earlier. I'm call spade a spade. This is a transparent pod. I am leaving for Baton Rouge tomorrow, so we're spending a special night together watching Moana 2 to celebrate before I leave again on the road. But a Mike Wazowski reference is strong, Mr. Upton. She is a fan of all animated movies. Monsters, Inc. What a pull. because you're right. She did get Mike Wazowski's aggressively. As I was like, babe, I think we're going viral on Twitter is good for the content game.
She's like,
Yo,
look, there I am.
Look, there I am. Oh my God, I'm a television star.
Wait, Jack, how tall are they? I didn't know they were that tall.
I mean, Stanford Steve is a beast, man. SVP guy, if he's got a nice little baby hook, he'd be a menace on the hardwood. But I mean, I'm every bit of 6'4", and thanks to my friends over at Tacovas, I'm rocking my boots, so I'm probably closer to 6'6" in that pick, and I'm staring eye to eye with him. So you're looking at Stanford Steve, just absolute muscle head. He got to be every bit of 6'5". SVP got to be every bit of 6'5", 6'6".
Yeah, they're
I'm
huge.
impressed. Stanford Steve rocking a vest.
By the way, I don't know if we did it intentionally, but for our YouTube viewers at home, you Mike Wazowski Natalie again, and that's awesome. That's awesome. She's the superstar, so I appreciate you guys allowing me to be like the superstar.
Good.
So yeah, they'll be on the show. They're coming around. I do think I was picking Stanford Steve's head. They like we say all the time, you can't fake genuine, can't fake authentic. Organically, they gave myself and my girlfriend who works in broadcasting more advice and wisdom than I could have ever imagined. And I asked a ton of questions about college game day with Stanford Steve and what would that look like in the college baseball world? What advice would you give someone who's trying to kick that thing off? And, man, the knowledge was incredible. But Stanford Steve is a fan. He's a college baseball guy. I know he dabbles and invests in all sports, but I do think that there's a shot. Maybe not a big one, but I think there's a chance. Tell me there's a chance, Lloyd Christmas style, that we can get him on before the tournament, maybe talk some hypothetical investments when the seeding comes out.
Hey, if we, let's just say us forward the college game day crew, connect the dots to college football game day. Is Noah, what's the guy's name that does the stats and the spreads?
Well, it actually is Stanford Steve was.
That would be who we're talking about.
Yeah.
Stanford Steve.
He was the Bear. You're thinking of the Bear.
Bear was 2
Bear
years
Falcon.
ago.
Bear, yeah. I think Noah would be Bear, wouldn't he?
Yeah,
and you would be Lee Corso. So
Me, Lee Corso, croaking Lee?
yes.
I am not croaking out Lee Corso. If anything, okay, I mean, it would be a battle between me and Jack for Pat McAfee, but I think I've got him beat.
No, it's a battle between Ben and Jack for who is Reese Davis and who's Kirk. Because
Ben is
I'm
30 times more knowledgeable. It's insane.
I would cry on live TV. So give me Kirk Herbstreit.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be the one that
He's Kirk. Ben is the needle, just like Kirk. That was the obvious.
I'm okay. Yeah, Ben is Kirk Herbstreit. Jack, you're Reese Davis.
Yeah, I'll write up those monologues just like the.
Am I Michigan man?
Des Howard.
Des Howard.
I think
Noah's got to be Des Howard, being a Michigan guy.
I'm cool with being
the Bear.
It's fine.
He is the Bear.
We're getting sidetracked, fellas. This is going to be a long episode. We will we're going to let our audience decide. Comment in the YouTube who you think is who in college game day. But Noah, I need you to run through the 9 weekend pick'em series and start us off with whichever one you want.
All right, let's first list the series that we have here that we're going to talk about today. We have Norfolk State at Delaware State, a battle between 2 of the bottom 3 RPI in the country. Sacramento State at Utah Valley, NC State at North Carolina, Miami, Florida at Virginia, Xavier at Creighton, Georgia at Alabama, West Virginia at Kansas State, Ole Miss at Mississippi State, and then Arkansas at LSU. I wanted to start this thing off. We did the same thing for the other bottom RPI matchup. It was like a name game where you guys had to guess which player or which team the player played for. And there we go. Now we got Dimitri's figuring it all out. We've got it on the screen now. Let's start off with Norfolk State, Delaware State, because I don't know how much time it'll take.
These are two teams, both. So these two teams are like 2 of 3 or 4 teams in the country that have not won a weekend series all year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's rough. It's a rough living.
You with 3 wins. Be a hell of a weekend if they did win a series.
Yeah. Both of them split the first 2 games and then ran out for the 3rd game. And unfortunately, they still don't win a weekend series. Yeah, the guy that leads both teams with home runs has 14. His name is Justin Jornet. What team does he play for?
Justin, wait, pronounce the last name.
Jornet, like the Journ, like journalism or journal, and then net.
Jou. Can you use Jornet in a sentence, please?
Yeah. Justin Jornet has 14 home runs.
I'm gonna say he plays for Delaware State. He's a Hornet.
I think because of the alliteration to me, for whatever reason, I think that in the great state of Virginia, that screams Norfolk. JJ alliteration. I'll go Norfolk.
That made no sense. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? JJ? That's alliteration.
Literally, it said literally. It makes no sense. So it makes no sense.
Yeah.
Where did you get? We're in the great state of Virginia.
Hey, it just, they've got lots of alliteration in this state.
D?
Make a damn pick already.
I already did. You're the only one that has it, jackass. Yeah. There's alliteration. Justin Jornet thinks Dimitri's a jackass. That's not alliteration.
I don't even know what team he plays for. I'm not paying. What team does he play for?
That's the game.
You have to pick what team.
We've already played this game once this year.
He plays for the team with 3 wins. Norfolk. He's Norfolk for sure.
Yeah.
The correct team that he plays for is the Spartans of Norfolk State.
Nice. Knew it.
Dimitri, he gets off to a hot start trying to defend his title in this game. The best starting pitcher ERA in the series belongs to Parker Hampton. He is a 6.02 ERA.
It's not bad.
What team does he play for?
The little brother of the Delaware Blue Hens.
I'm gonna go back with Delaware State.
Yeah, I know if Noah was my teacher, I could read his book all day long. It's ABA for a while. I'll go Del State as well.
Yeah, the best starting pitcher ERA in this series belongs to Parker Hampton, and he is pitching for Norfolk State this weekend.
Oh, we zigged when we should have zagged. Damn it.
The pitcher with the most strikeouts in this series that is a starting pitcher. His name is Nathaniel Varnier, or it could be Varnier, but Nathaniel Varnier. What team does he pitch for? He's got, by the way, 64 strikeouts.
All right, guys.
There's no way he goes triple Norfolk on us.
Wait. Hold on. He went Norfolk first, and he thought we were going to be like, okay, he's going Delaware this time, but he went back to Norfolk. And now he's thinking we're really going to go to Delaware here. I think 3 in a row Norfolk.
I like that.
Delaware.
I'll go Del State too.
Nathaniel Varnier has the most strikeouts with 64, and he pitches for the Spartans of Norfolk State.
Oh,
you tripled us.
I read that mother like a
Norfolk us. How dare you?
The final 2 categories that I went with were just the coolest names of the 2 teams, right?
Oh, like
so.
This is where we found James Bond. From Missouri.
Somebody snipes.
James Bond Snipes from Mississippi Valley State. Yeah.
God, this series is so electric. I'm getting goosebumps over here.
Getting goosies over here.
All right. This guy's name is Yanadi Snow. What team does he pitch for?
Noah. If you go 4 Norfolks in a row, I'm going to smash my computer. I'm not kidding.
Delaware
State.
State. Delaware
Ben?
State.
Delaware State.
So all three of you went Delaware State, and it was a fourth Norfolk State player.
You dirty bastard.
I mean, Ben and Jack can still tie Dimitri. Dimitri's only got 2. So the fifth and final
I have
player
0.
here that I have, his name is Cameron Coco.
Oh, that's Delaware
He
State. All
is
day.
a hitter for which
Delaware
team?
State.
Delaware
It's
State.
not. It's not. It's not. It's Norfolk. It's Norfolk. I'll go
It's
Norfolk.
Delaware State.
He is a hitter for the Delaware State Hornets.
It's
Your
about
winner of the
time.
game once again is Dimitri.
Find me something I'm not good at. Maybe
All
it's
right.
podcasting. Maybe that's not what I'm good at because I'm good as shit at these games.
You're not good. You're
10
not good at pronouncing college baseball superstars. You're not good at pronouncing their names.
10 seconds of real analysis for you guys in this series. The actual best pitcher in this series is hurt, Michael Lane. He hasn't pitched since March. He actually had a 2.48 ERA for Delaware State in 40 innings. But yeah, the 3 starting pitchers that they have are all nearing 10 with either their ERA. Norfolk State's the better offense here. They are on the road, which could get tricky, but I'm going to go Spartans in the series.
Noah, can I ask you a question?
Don't fade the facilities. Delaware State's got some of the best facilities in the nation. Looked at pictures on Google.
I did
Great.
too.
They're great. I'm going with the Hornets.
Noah, can I ask you a question?
Shoot.
How miserable and boring was it trying to research this series? I can't believe you actually researched this
Well,
series.
the game is a little bit of a cop-out for me. I'm allowed to have a little bit of fun with this. But, yeah, the game also helps because I went through who has the most home runs in the series. He also has the best average, the best OPS. So, I mean, he's the star of the series. Justin Jornet, who plays for Norfolk State. Norfolk
that's
State's
enough
got the
names.
better rotation, and
That's enough names. We don't need any more names from the series. That's enough. I think we've got everything we need to know. 4 out of the 5 best players in this series are on one team. Give me Norfolk State. I think it's really easy.
Did Jack make it?
Natalie picked.
I have
Natalie,
not. Hey, I don't know if you could hear that. I actually was asking for my expert.
of course she was.
Pick. Now she actually got a job offer from the city, and it actually didn't go that great. So she's actually informed me that it's called Norfolk.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's a ridiculous way to say it. She sounds like Dimitri when he tried to pronounce Jack Caglianone. She wants to go. She wants to go Norfolk, however the hell that is.
Norfolk.
Yeah, so I'm gonna take Norfolk as well. I couldn't get it right in our quiz game, so I think the Spartans beat the Hornets in the A gap. That's what I think it comes down to.
There we go.
Put that on the quote card.
All right, let's get a little more serious now.
Yep, let's do that. Let's go over to the WAC. Sacramento State at Utah Valley.
That was
Both of
good.
these-
Timeout. That was good. You guys, that joke just went over both of your heads right there. I caught it, Noah. Let's get a little bit more serious.
I caught it, but I'm not 12 years
Let's
old.
get whack.
I caught it, but I'm not 12 years old.
You act like it sometimes.
No, I don't. I act 13.
Sacramento State and Utah Valley both have series wins over Grand Canyon, and that's what made this one a little bit interesting. It's the number 1 offense against the number 1 pitching staff in this conference. With the elevation that Utah Valley plays at here, they're the home team. It's the 17th most favorable park factor for hitters. So on paper, Wolverines pitching staff isn't strong, but how bad can you say that it is? And how used to the elevation will Sac State be? Their lineup, I just don't think can compare to Utah Valley. I like the Wolverines here. Sac State has been juggling their Game 3 starter lately. They're 2-4 in Game 3s in conference. I think that's probably your most offensive game just around college baseball's landscape. I think Utah Valley wins Game 3. Give me a 50-50 in one of Game 1 or Game 2. I'll take the Wolverines.
Alrighty. I don't know anything about this series. I didn't do my research. I apologize. I picked the Hornets last series. I'm going to pick the Hornets this series. Give me Sac State.
Love that. So when you're struggling, like I usually am when it comes to investments or picking games, it's time to just start deflecting and blaming others. That's why I'm going to continue to go outside the wheelhouse and go to a diehard 11.7 listener, a former Charleston Southern Buccaneer, and now a current staff member, an admin guy at Sac State, my guy Luke Benoit. He says that Evan Gibbons is an ace and was also texted this. Hashtag the whack is ours. Give me Sac State. Love them. I'm all on the bandwagon.
So, gentlemen, Utah Valley lost a superstar shortstop to the Louisiana State University Tigers. They can produce some decent players, but not this year. This year, the Sacramento State Hornets are going to take this one in Utah. They're not used to playing with elevation, so they're just going to try to barrel line drive, and they're going to fly. Utah Valley is going to try to pull. They're going to try to do too much. Give me the Hornet.
For the 11.7 trivia fans out there, is this the first time that we've ever had two teams with the nickname of Hornets on one 11.7 pick'em weekend?
It's got to be.
100%.
I mean, how many more are there?
I mean, we've never done Alabama State. We've never done Norfolk State or Delaware State. We've never done Alabama State.
Alabama State. We absolutely have.
Have we?
Oh, yeah.
Probably as one of these bottom RPI games, right?
No, I think it was against maybe Southern for the regular season SWAC championship last year.
Ben. I think Ben is right. I think he's right. We have done Alabama State one time.
All right, then. I'm wrong. I'm all right with that. I can be wrong.
I'm wrong.
Yeah. I've been wrong on this team plenty this year. Miami visits Charlottesville, Virginia. Daniel Cuvée is unconscious right now. And I feel like I can trust Miami's pitching staff a little bit more than I can with UVA currently. Plus, even though I'm tied for fourth in the standings, I'm 5 games back. I need to make up some ground. I feel like a lot of people are rooting for Virginia and a lot of that talent in the lineup to get into the NCAA tournament. I'm sniffing out that they could be the popular pick here. I'm going to take the road team. I'm going to go with Miami, and I'm going to ride the hot hand. I like the Canes here. Give me Griffin Hughes, AJ Siskar, Tate DeRias in that starting rotation with Brian Walters and the rest of that bullpen that seems to be clicking at the right time right now.
Good pick, Noah. Dimitri says he knows the most about Miami baseball on this podcast, but he doesn't. I've witnessed it firsthand for 6 years now. I usually have the pulse of the Miami Hurricanes better than he does. And this is a team that's won 10 straight ACC games. This is a series that they're going to lose. It's this Virginia series where everything feels like it's coming easy to them. They're just slicing a hot knife through butter right now. Everything's going easy. At the end of the day, Virginia absolutely has to not only win this series, but probably sweep to feel good about a postseason berth. And I think they do that. I think Virginia shows up, run rules in one game, and just plays the best baseball of the season. And they're going to be a scary 3 seed when they're in the tournament. So give me the hoop.
So Virginia's going to win this series. 100%. I have the pulse of Miami Hurricanes. Ben, I don't know.
No, I have the pulse of Miami. You know that I have the pulse. You know it.
No,
you never have the pulse.
You talk about, oh, I like this Miami team. Oh, I really like this Miami team. You're wrong every single time.
You're going to piss me off. I know Miami.
You do not have the pulse of this team. Virginia is going to win this series, but I'm going to pick Miami. So I'm right either way. If people go to YouTube, they hear me pick Virginia. So I'm right.
You don't have the pulse then.
Go to Twitter. People go to Twitter and they see the graphic. They're going to see I'm also right. I'm not telling you which team is which. They're going to see whatever platform you're on. You're going to see that I'm right. And that's all I have to say.
Wait, you've put yourself
I want everybody to comment. I want everybody to comment on the YouTube or tweet at Dimitri. You do not have the pulse. He does not have the pulse.
I have the
Yeah,
pulse.
and on the
I'm
Twitter
right there.
graphic, just say you picked Miami and Virginia wins, then he got it wrong on the graphic.
Mm-mm. Dimitri's checking for pulses on the elbow. You can't find a pulse on the elbow. I'm right here, baby.
Jack, can you find a pulse on this matchup?
I know for damn certain that if as long as Miami has played bad, then Dimitri's been all over because that's all he's done is shit talk his home school. That's all. He
Thank
can't
you.
help himself. It's Oak. It's May. They have to have it. I'll ride and die with the captain of the ship. If they don't get it right, then I've got no problem missing here. I'll take UVA. It's a must-have. It's a must-have. Miami's put themselves in an awesome position, but UVA, come late spring, never a doubt.
Say something nice about the Houston Astros. Let's see if you have the pulse of the Astros. I don't think either one of you have the pulse.
You don't
They
think
played
so?
good
I think
today.
that they did play well today. Framber Valdez looked good,
You
and they have the
told me-
greatest second baseman in the history of baseball, in the history of the sport. So there's your
You guys
pulse.
told me they
Is
were
he
going to be
playing
bad.
second base again, or is he still in left field?
That's even better to my point. He's the most selfless human being that's ever walked the face of the planet.
The next series on our pick'em that we're going to jump to takes place in Omaha. Xavier at Creighton. The Blue Jays are 15-5 at home this season, and the Musketeers are 11-15 on the road. Creighton has a whopping 9 arms that have thrown at least 19 innings and have an ERA below 5.10. Xavier has just 4 pitchers that qualify for the parameters of that stat. It's their 3 starting pitchers and their top reliever. Outside of that, if Creighton, their offense can drag Xavier into the mud, I think that Creighton could be able to put up some runs here. Both offenses are pretty equal. I'll take Creighton playing at home with Nolan Sailors batting .406 with a 1075 OPS, scoring 46 runs, leading the team.
Love that. That's a great pick, Noah. I love it. I love it. Creighton is a team that I think a lot of people are sleeping on. They are just as good as UConn, just as good as Xavier. I predict that they're going to win the Big East regular season and the tournament. Don't forget, guys, we're big on vibes. We're big on forecasting scenarios that other people may not see. Scott Service is in his final year at Creighton. Do we see a magical run for the hometown team, Creighton Blue Jays, making it to Omaha this year? UConn's been close out of this conference 2 years in a row. How good of a story would that be? Scott Service is last year's head coach. They make it to Omaha. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's definitely a possibility. I'm really high on Creighton. Give me Creighton to win 2 out of 3.
Ben, I think you could not be further from having the pulse of Creighton.
He's now
I don't know
gonna
what you
hyper
just said about Creighton going to Omaha, but your pulse could not be further from the pulse of Creighton.
I am
With that
so
being
sorry
said-
that I brought that up earlier. This is
He's
going to be all
just-
show now.
the whole time.
Give me Xavier. They're the best team in the Big East. I'm not going to fade
Whoa,
from that.
what?
I've been saying that all year. Give me Xavier.
You've not said that all year. You have not.
not said that all year.
You have not said
I
it all year.
literally have said Xavier, the best team in the Big East all year.
Dimitri's
I'm
going to
gonna
have to
put-
pull up those graphics of the
I'm going to
conference
pull up the
predictions.
graphics right now, our preseason conference champion pick, and I want to see who you picked.
I'll
I'm
pull it up
almost
right now. I have
willing.
it right here. I have
Either
it right
way,
here.
I don't think it's true because didn't they lose the series to UConn just last week?
Okay, he has been saying Xavier all year.
Great pull, Dimitri.
Bang, bang. What is that right there? What is that right there? What is that X?
It's a Texas Tech in the Big
You know what you
12
call
box.
You know, you
Did he
call that
change
you call
it?
that having the pulse.
Hold on. Did you change it? That's the first one. Did you change the pick?
No, he didn't change it.
Here. Do you want me to? I'll give you this one too. Jesus, which one do you want?
He didn't change it.
Damn.
But I also changed mine
Damn
for
it.
Creighton. So thank you.
Guys, don't.
All right, I'll just say my pick. Give me Creighton. Love the win against Nebraska earlier in the week.
Shout out Mark Kingston. They missed
Danny
you over at
Hall,
South.
Danny Hall, Coach Service, in a 2-3 matchup in a regional. Can't you see that coming?
I'm actually rooting for it, not that. I want them in Omaha facing off in the
Yeah.
final, right?
That'll for sure happen.
Yep.
Do love Creighton, though. Saw them earlier this year. Offensively, they were super fun. You mentioned Noah Sailors. He's a real deal. He'll fly through the minor league system. He's a really, really good player. I'll take Creighton.
I want to take you guys to Tuscaloosa because Georgia is visiting Alabama. The Crimson Tide are 23-6 at Sewell Thomas Stadium this season. Bulldogs have not been sharp away from home this year. They're 9-8, but 3 of them just came over Missouri in unconvincing fashion just last weekend. Second road weekend in a row. Typically, I like to fade teams in these spots. Alabama 0-4 in their last 4 non-Missouri SEC series. With how strong the offense looked early in the season, especially in the non-conference, they seem like a candidate to me that maybe could qualify as a hot, cold, hot team. And once they get out of the SEC conference, it's like a breath of fresh air, and they find themselves again. But I can't pick it to happen. I'm gonna go with Georgia. I just set up, pretty much laid it up on the tin for the case for Alabama here. But Georgia's last 15 SEC games, they seem to have stabilized the pitching staff, only allowing 5 runs per game. Rylan Zaborowski is still out this weekend, to my knowledge. Wes Johnson was talking about how he just picked up a bat this week. But even though the lineup has kind of gone relatively cold since his exit, I still think they're legit 1 through 9. I'm going to go Georgia.
This was the toughest pick for me. I think the popular vote is going to be Georgia. Alabama does play a lot better at home. And for me, I saw them play in Jacksonville in person, and they destroyed Coastal Carolina. They were the best team in that tournament by far. And it feels to me like they're close to clicking. Just don't let Justin LeBron hit a double in the first inning of game 1 and him get hot again. He's hitting below 250 in SEC play, so not great, but he is very talented. I think they'll win. Riley quick start. I honestly think he's going to be maybe the second or third fastest to the big leagues out of this year's draft class. He's got real stuff. It's just can Alabama win 2 is the question. I'll take Alabama just because I need to make up some ground, but for me, this is a 50-50. I don't have much else.
So, gentlemen, I picked Georgia to win the SEC in the beginning of the year. They're 4 games out of first place behind Texas and Arkansas. They have the tiebreaker over Arkansas for the standing. Arkansas got at LSU and at home for Tennessee the next 2 weekends. They're going to go 2-4. They're going to go 1-5. All right. Texas got a hot Florida team coming to town, and then they go to Oklahoma. They're going to go 1-5 as well. Georgia's going to go 5-1 the next 2 weeks, and they're going to win the SEC. That's all I have to say. Give me Georgia. Give me the dog. Hoo, hoo, hoo.
I like that. I like the breakdown. I like the math. I can ride with all of that. This was my hardest pick 'em too. I think this would be a crazy tough survivor if someone went here. No one would have the balls to make this a survivor. And 5-1, I mean, it'd be pretty crazy to make that your survivor. Just putting that in the atmosphere. I don't know, man. Bama had that Vandy series 1, dude. I'd love to see a resilient response out of them. Ben, you mentioned Riley Quick. I couldn't agree more. That guy has got big leaguer tattooed on his forehead. But I really like Zane Adams, too, for him. Another guy in the weekend. He's just a really polished SEC starter. That was a tough loss, though. Being around Georgia, a lot of question marks in the air. What else did Coach Johnson talk about in his media press conferences this week? No, I couldn't remember. What did someone else
something about how he loves Georgia?
Yeah, loves it. Loves it. And I will tell you, man, being there last week, and I have not really gotten to talk to you guys about my trip there, but, man, Athens is special. To put it into perspective, what Tennessee and the Volunteers are doing at Lindsey Nelson is going to be gorgeous. It's going to be great for the school. But it's taken them close to 2 years to get those renovations done. They're still in the middle of it. Georgia did theirs in 6.5 months, folks, and it looks like a brand new ballpark. They have invested the hell into this program, and a lot of it is because of what Wes Johnson has not demanded, but said, this is the expectation. If you want us to win, this is how we're going to go do it. I was so insanely impressed with all of the little details, with every dude I got the opportunity to talk with. Dimitri, I'm drinking that Kool-Aid, and it runs red. Give me the dog, sick 'em.
Ain't nothing finer in land.
Yikes.
Yeah, all righty
Ain't a
then.
drunk, obnoxious Georgia fan. Ain't a drunk, obnoxious Georgia fan. Go dog. Go dog.
I want to take you guys to ACC country, a bordering state, possibly.
Wait, time out. Before we go there, guys, you got to help me will Georgia to win in the SEC title. I will be unbearable. Not one person in the whole country picked Georgia to win the SEC.
I mean,
there's no way.
Jack has an affinity with LSU, with Texas A&M. He's got like rooting interest all over the place. I don't know if you're going to be able to.
You guys got to
play
help me.
his-
This would be.
Did you-
I have so many.
Let's work on your sales skills, though. Just as a friend to a friend. You told us your reasoning to back you with this Georgia pick is because that you'd be unbearable. What kind of bullshit sales tactic is that? Now there's no one in the world that wants to go
Not you,
0-6.
to not Ben, unbearable to the receipts I have from the Twitter machine. People calling me very mean words, very, very mean words.
What? Name one word.
I cannot. Ben will get very mad at me if I say these mean words.
Don't say the word that made us restart the podcast 3 months ago.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Hey, can we take a brief hiatus halftime, if you will? Ben looking like a legit slugger on YouTube.
Bo Jackson.
Taking dry hacks, man. This is the great Babe, man. It's a freshman All-American flexing on him. He's got his wood bat.
I want to go hit batting practice so bad right now.
Dude,
I'm not kidding. It's all I've been thinking. I don't even want to hit. Dimitri throw BP, and I'll just go shag some fly balls. It's all I want to do.
Barefoot shagging fly balls in the
Oh.
outfield.
More than anything in the whole world.
Dimitri
Please go
doesn't
do
throw
it.
BP. He just blows it by people.
Yeah, no, for
Come on.
sure.
I try to throw it by people. Allegedly, I throw it by people.
What's the boy sitting these days? What are we touching?
Me? I don't know.
No.
82, 83.
Yeah, you.
82, 83.
Love that. Good stuff.
Good day.
Pitchability, little
Oh
mox.
yeah. We're hitting the black on the ins and outs, ups and downs. We're throwing a six pitch mix, a little hesitation, a little timing disruption. We got
Love
everything going.
That checks
Love
A
it.
out.
little catcher dirt throwing on the cleats. Got all of it going on.
All right, on to the ACC. I like that.
Jack calling time in now.
Yeah, I got Moana too beckoning, boys. I can feel it in my veins.
In your
NC
morning-
State at North Carolina. Big in-state rivalry series here. UNC had last weekend off, which is totally fine. They did it with exam week. But Jason DeCaro threw in the midweek. He threw 70 pitches on Tuesday. Not sure how that may or may not mix and match that weekend rotation. Either way, I am comfortable and confident in whoever the Tar Heels throw out there on the bump. It's a top 5 pitching staff in the country. They were my favorite team in the ACC coming into the year. NC State might be the team that I wrote up just 2 weeks ago, but they fell flat on their face in Miami last weekend. Liked the Vice too much there down in Coral Gables. But, the offense for North Carolina has found its groove. It was a young lineup. We kind of were giving it some time to grow into themselves. They get swept on their home field against North Carolina. They lose the series to Louisville. And since then, they've only won 6 straight ACC series. And they're averaging 9 3/4 runs per game. They're 11-2 in their last 13. And they're 24-5 in Chapel Hill. Tough series to pick. Tough series to win for NC State. Give me North Carolina.
Ooh.
I'm right there with you, Noah. I think if I had to make a survivor pick this week, it would land right here. And it's no disrespect to NC State. I think just going into Chapel Hill for a team that's rolling right now and they're playing good baseball, I don't see them losing 2 games. I think maybe NC State wins 1. But on top of that, we've always talked about how Elliott Avant's teams play really well in May and June. So that scares me a good bit. But I want to help the NC State faithful. I want Elliott Avant to get on his computer, if he has one, print out a picture of our graphic that's going to have UNC, 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 UNC as our picks. And I want him to have that on the bulletin board this weekend. Yeah, give me the Tar Heels, but I want to motivate the Wolfpack. I still like them. I still think that they're going to be a dangerous team in the postseason.
Ben, I think your pulse, you don't have my pulse, that's for sure. You definitely don't have my pulse. You might think you have my pulse, but you don't. Because guess what? Everyone is going to pick North Carolina this weekend. Everyone. NC State is going to respond by getting punked in the mouth last weekend. They were about to get punked in the mouth on Sunday and get swept. This team is ready to fight in Tobacco Road. They don't let Tobacco Road walk away without a fight. And they're going to fight until the wires get pulled out of their faces. Give me North Carolina State, Pac-9, baby.
He heard you and was like, man, if there's any chance that Coach Avian actually sees this graphic, I just want him to like me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nope. I just want Ben to know he does not have my pulse.
Dimitri just pulled the read option on me. He was playing quarterback, and he's like, all right, or he was playing running back. He's like, all right, if Ben takes this one,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go NC State. If he pulls it, I'm going UNC and calling him an idiot for taking it.
Yeah.
That was a read option right there.
That's it. That's all there is to it. I think it's interesting too when you look at this series as a whole. Like it was a good rivalry weekend. Like these teams do not like each other very much. I know North Carolina Duke really controls the storylines, especially on the hardwood. But like this has been a really, really, really fun rivalry for the last couple of years. Hunter Stokely is a kid that's probably not getting as much love as he deserves in the ACC. 330, 12 jimmies. Controls the bat, great approach in the zone, doesn't swing anything outside of it, doesn't strike out a lot for a big hitter. I'll take North Carolina. I like the offense a lot. I also have I would be really interested, if there's an 11.7 listener out there, to go look at my ACC splits during our weekend series pick'em. I'd be shocked if I had more than 2 wins. Shocked. So ACC fans, the Atlanta Coast Guard, be stoked that I'm not picking you, Wolfpack Nation. I've got no feel on your entire conference as a whole. So I'll take North Carolina. Love the Heels here.
The good news, Jack, is nobody has had a feel on the ACC all year. Nobody.
Yeah, no, if you will. I've had no pulse, if you will. No, the pulse has been dead.
You even mentioned splits in your analysis for this one. So I'm going to take you to some killer splits for my analysis in the matchup of West Virginia at Kansas State.
Well done.
The Wildcats are 16-2 in the Little Apple this season. That there may be a lot of SEC and ACC fans repping the Wildcats this year or this weekend in K-State, but rooting for West Virginia's downfall. I think that's a bold statement. They're 22-3 on the road. They have a top 15 pitching staff. The biggest matchup issue that I see in this series this weekend, Kansas State's weekend rotation has 3 left-handed pitchers. West Virginia is one of the best offenses in the country against left-handed pitching this season. The 3 lefties for K-State, J.J. Slack, Michael Quevedo, and Lincoln Sheffield. Dub V is hitting against left-handed pitching, 361, 1063 OPS. There's only 3 teams in that club of having a mid-300s average and a OPS over 1050 against lefties. It's Florida State, 346, 1062. Mississippi State, 339, 1089. And Arkansas at 357, 1069. That's pretty good company for West Virginia. I like the Mountaineers here. Take me home, country roads.
Noah, take a bow. I mean, that's what we pay you the big bucks for. Like those are the type of stats that will go from in my head being, oh, Kansas State at home, easy pick, to stop the car, throw it in reverse. We're going West Virginia here. I'm scratching out Kansas State. You sold me, sir. Sell me this pen, Noah. You sold it to me.
What the hell, Ben?
Pencil.
Thank you.
Pencil.
Don't get Dimitri going.
Dimitri on the 11.7 podcast. Ben is an official pen guy.
I wasn't even mad about the fact that you said pen. I just knew that this was the reaction. I was just mad about the reaction, Ben.
It's a clip forever.
Oh, Ben, the pen guy. I knew I liked him. He might not have my pulse, but he knows what I like. He knows.
Ben knows
what
he fucked up too.
right.
He hasn't said a word.
Ben has the pulse of writing utensil. Ben has the pulse of writing utensil. And with that being said, Noah just gave everything, and all was flashing in my head was the last time I gambled on a sports game. It was so easy. It was all right in front of me. I was like, dude, this can't lose. And it lost. And you know what this means? West Virginia, everyone's going to bet them. Everyone's going to bet it's so easy. You can't lose, right? Wrong. Kansas State wins the series.
West Virginia. They hit 302 as a team. My grandpa was the Mountaineer. West Virginia.
Sounds like a guy who had his heart
I
ripped
knew
out.
Ben had the pulse on writing utensil.
I think I should mic drop. I should mic drop out of here. Should I give you my
This
two
is
picks
bad,
and
guys. I'm so sorry, Jack.
look what
I
you
feel
did to
like
us.
I feel like the guy that calls his girlfriend the wrong name right now. Yeah. I just said Jessica instead of Sarah right in front of you. I apologize, man. I'm sorry. Hopefully this
It's okay.
doesn't ruin our relationship.
Can never
I wish I
forget your
could
first.
edit my head to an alien emoji with that smiley face. I just feel on top of the world right now.
It's
The
okay.
pen movement is so strong. It is unstoppable.
Can't
Ben,
do it.
I do have to say though, you're wearing your Sunday best. You're rocking the Ole Miss pullover. Why don't you take the lead for Ole Miss, Mississippi State?
Well done, Noah. Well done.
I don't want to. I'm down in the dumps, but I will. All right. So matchup of two teams that I almost said have had disappointing seasons since the both of them won national championships in 2021 and 2022. Mississippi State obviously let go of Chris Lemonis last Tuesday or last Monday, and since then they've gone 5-1 in SEC play, and have put themselves in a picture of 6-0, right? No,
4-0. 3-0 in SEC play, 4-0 since.
I don't know what my brain was thinking. 3-0 in SEC play. They sweep last week against Kentucky, and they put themselves firmly in position to earn an at-large bid. So Coach Parker, who's taken over for the team as an interim coach, he's done a great job. The guys look more fired up and ready to play. They get to host at home, arch rival Ole Miss. I'm wearing an Ole Miss jersey for nothing other than it was in the box next to me. I'm sorry. I'm taking Mississippi State. I'm always in favor of in all professional sports, mid-season coach firings. You bet on the team the next week, right?
That
the rest
was
of the year
straight from my playbook too. 1,000%.
Yeah, exactly. The guys are going to play harder. They're playing for their roster spots right now. They don't know who they're going to bring back and who's going to be cut and this and that. And I think the environment's going to be fired up there at Duty Noble. So ignore my shirt right now. I'm going with Mississippi State at home, and I think this is going to be the perfect mix of a team that has nothing to lose. It's not like they're fighting for a playoff spot. They're just playing out there for fun and hard. So give me Mississippi State.
Ben, I pissed myself on this show before. You can take that jersey off right now and go the rest of the show shirtless.
You want that, big boy? I'll do it.
I don't want that.
Yeah, I'm
That's just-
6 days.
like
I'm
that?
6
that is
days
just a
keto,
respect.
buddy. I'm feeling thin.
That is a respect thing. You cannot pick Mississippi State while wearing an Ole Miss jersey. That just cannot happen.
I'll spin it like you did with Miami. I'll pick Mississippi State here, but in my head I'll say Ole Miss, so like I'll be right no matter what.
Well, you just fucked it all up, so it's not. You can't do that. You can't do that. You should have played that out. See, you don't have the pulse. You don't have the pulse of Ole Miss or Mississippi
Yes, I
State.
don't.
Right now.
Grow up.
Yes, I do.
Anyways, sorry. Go ahead, Noah.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Ben here. I thought he was going Ole Miss, but I agree. Word for word, kind of took it out of my playbook. But yeah, momentum is a dangerous thing in college baseball. Ben talked about it since the removal of Lemonis. They are 4-0 with 2 run rule victories. They're playing well on both sides of the ball for whatever reason, whether it be college sports world or even the gambling world. It's just the interim coach bump. For whatever reason, you need the head honcho to get kicked out the door for the smelling salts to actually work and get you hooked up. So Ole Miss, they won the Governor's Cup earlier this season in an extra innings battle, 10 innings. They went down 1-8-7, I think, that matchup. But 20-7 record at the dude. Give me Mississippi State. I think they take the series.
Guys, do you know how exciting and what a feeling it was when one of these two things happened? When your teacher left the classroom and for like 30 minutes and the room just went berserk. You guys were having so much fun, right? Or number 2, you walk into your classroom and you see the coolest substitute teacher ever. You're like, oh, dude, today's going to be so much fun. That's how Mississippi State feels right now. Their teacher is out. And they have a substitute teacher for the rest of the semester. It's May. It's warming up. The weather's getting hotter. You're thinking about your pool party. Summer is so close. And you have a substitute teacher for the rest of the way. That's how the Mississippi State Bulldogs feel right now. They are loose. They are fired up. No pressure. And they feel like they can just be them. Because you know how assistant coaches are. They're always the coolest one. They want all the players to like them. They don't care. They don't write the lineup card. No one hates them. Give me Mississippi State at home.
I feel like this kind of changes the way I picked this because the whole board just went State. Ben's wearing an Ole Miss jersey. I will tell you, missing the last 2 podcasts, it was really a lot of fun listening to you guys break down this breaking news. Talk the entire college baseball board. It's why you guys have created the best brand in college sports or in college baseball. Well, sports too. Sure, fuck it. I'll tell you, I felt like I saw Kyle Peterson's tweet about this firing, and I felt like I could not have agreed more, which I know is a little bit devil's advocate to what you guys have talked about, but also very much so in the same tone. I think we can all agree it's weird. I understand why they have to do it early. This guy won a national championship in the last 5 years. There should be a statue. He shouldn't be without a job, right? And you did it because you thought, well, if we don't go get our guy now, right? Just like hypothetically, maybe the University of Texas got their guy at this time of the season last year, then they weren't going to be able to do well in the Portland X, Y, and Z. I understand all the factors. I understand that it's a unique landscape, so you have to do unique things. I thought it was garbage. I thought it was bullshit. I think Duty Noble fans maybe took for granted a situation and how difficult it is to win a national championship. And I think Bianco has felt the exact same way in the visitors' dugout going into this weekend series. Like, he's been on the hot seat too. He won a national championship less than 3. It's just crazy to me. I thought I'd put some numbers together to get ready for this weekend series. Mississippi State played UT, OU, LSU, Alabama, Florida, and Auburn. And he lost his job. Here's my devil advocate's pitch. I understand that they're 4-0 and it's great playing for the substitute teacher. I get it. But they're 4-0 against Memphis and Kentucky. They now will have Missouri next week. And then they'll finish up the last weekend of the series, or last weekend of the year, with Missouri. That'll be it. So you got 6 games left. That seem a little bit more favorable. Kentucky at home, Ole Miss at home, and then at Mizzou. So we're going to give this guy a pound on the back. You don't think Lamonis was going to turn around? I think they had to fire him because after this 3-week stretch, a bunch of grad transfers that came to Mississippi State to play for Chris Lamonis, guys that were from the Citadel, from the coaching tree. You fired the guy because you knew that the record was going to look pretty damn good at the end of the regular season. I get it. Completely understand. Thought it was a little bit of a cop-out. But yeah, I don't know. I'm sure they already have their guy dialed in and locked up, and I understand that it's business and it's money. So let's go ahead and take Mississippi State and guarantee Ole Miss wins the series. How about that? Let's go get Ole Miss a win. Give me State. Put it on the graphic. Congrats to the Rebs.
Well done, Jack.
That was my
That
venting.
was some real cutting edge stuff right there. Great point. I haven't seen that brought up anywhere.
Well, you guys, y'all talked about it perfectly, and I thought y'all laid it out. I disagree. There's so many different ways to feel about it. And I know he's a Charleston guy, and people tie that back to me. And yes, I'm a big fan of the human being. I just think like winning in general is crazy hard. Think about the tradition at that school, and he won a national championship. Like, I think it's nuts.
But hold on. All the credit to Chris Lamonis. We can talk about it for 2 seconds. All the credit to him for winning a national championship. But he won a national championship with someone else's player. And I think that's worth something.
I mean, I don't mean to throw the ricochet across the bow, but I mean, look what's going on in Low Star State right now. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Somebody's got somebody else's players, and they were not good to begin the year.
Yeah.
But like, he was also a first-time head coach. It's apples and oranges, in my opinion. So, like,
yeah, every situation is different.
Lamonis was a first-time head coach in the SEC.
I think winning a national championship with anybody's players, yours, somebody else's, or freaking Augie Garrido, I don't know who it is already hard enough to do.
Yeah.
But what I think Mississippi State fans are so disappointed in and so frustrated with is that they continue to bring in good players and they do nothing with them. It's not about Lamonis recruiting or whatever. It's just they feel like they're underwhelming with good recruiting classes, with good players, with good pieces. That's what they're frustrated about. It's not a quality thing. It's a underwhelming performance thing. That's what they're mad about.
This is to me, though, like because I don't get it, and I'm not the guy handling millions of dollars. Totally different sport and totally different conversation. But the Denver Nuggets fired their basketball coach 2 weeks before the playoffs started, and they're like still playing basketball. They're what? I guess they're 10 wins away from winning a championship. Like, Mississippi State's going to make the postseason. They're going to. And he's going to be watching his team from afar. I just think it's weird. Like, this is when you make decisions like this as an athletic department, and this is something that you guys touched on briefly. When you make a decision like this, you are now, again, Pandora's box is open. Mississippi State fans, you're pissed that your favorite player goes to the portal and goes and plays for your rival school. You don't get to be mad anymore. You lost the right to do it. You've lost all credibility to give a shit because you got rid of the guy in the middle of the season. Players don't do that. They see it through at least. And I think there's a million things that need to be fixed in the portal. But when you make decisions like this, the player's going, well, why the hell wouldn't I do what's best for me? I have a 4-year window to do it. If the school's going to do what's best for them, why the hell wouldn't I do what's best for me, especially this impersonally? It's just wild to me. The whole the in-season thing is crazy to me. This isn't professional sports. Like, it's not. I get that the money is being thrown around. It is now being treated like that. So I guess, it's a different breed. I'm with Ben, though, from the last time we talked. I miss my old college baseball.
I will say, like, the in-season firing, it's happened in college sports, college football, college basketball way more often than college baseball. It's a welcome to the party moment. We're now sitting at the big boy table for college baseball, so that's probably a good thing long term. Unfortunate, of course, in this scenario for the guy that was the first one that maybe started this whole domino effect. But Jack, you weren't on the show. Do you have a possible prediction of who's going to be the next man at the top step?
Yeah, I do. I'm glad that you asked me that. Let's take this thing to a lighter note. I have one prediction, and it's really one statement. Ben Upton, head coach. Dimitri Curtis, pitching coach. Jack DeLongchamp, bench coach, and Noah Bieniek can do whatever you'd like. You want to do analytics, you want to do director of ops, you can be whatever you want. That's my prediction. Take a shot, Starkville. You want to be really mad about something? Let's go.
Well, Ben's gonna have to take that jersey off for us to sign on the dotted line.
It's called playing hard to get,
Yeah.
baby. The
There you go.
Adjunks.
Yeah,
Ooh,
he's
ooh.
actually pulling the Cliff Godwin right now, wearing the Ole Miss jersey, and
Mhm.
No, what's the last series we got?
the last series I think is the biggest series of the week that I've coined moving week in the 11.7 weekend pick'em contest. And the biggest series of moving week, we do have a representative of 11.7 that is going to be in Baton Rouge. Would you like to lead, Mr. DeLongchamp?
I will. I'll give you my breakdown, and then I'm going to watch Moana 2. LSU, Arkansas. Moana 2. It's cinematic, really, if you think about it. The box had my heart. Their fans are crazy as hell, but so are the Hog faithful. This feels like an Omaha matchup. This feels like two of the most prestigious college baseball programs. Root, Anderson, Van Horn, Johnson. To get to see the Aloy brothers in person is going to be insanity. I get to see Bear Jones hit an 800-foot home run. I know it's going to happen. Monster Milan's going to hit a clutch bases clearing double. So it just like I've already seen the script, right? The script writers have already done it. And guess what? I'm going to watch the movie anyways. Beyond excited to see Baton Rouge in person. So I'd like to propose what I did in Austin, Texas. I really hope both teams have fun. I hope they have a blast. So my prediction, if you will, let's get weird. I know we went Texas State when we did that matchup. Can I go?
No,
Let's go Nichols. Let's go Nichols.
No.
Give him Missouri.
Hey, I trust the
Hey,
Riz
I
God.
actually have a good picture you can put on the graphic.
Yeah.
I think it's
LSU Eunice was going to be my logo.
Shreveport's
No,
50-0 in
Shreveport,
NAIA.
they just went undefeated in NAIA, like 50-0.
Yeah.
Nasty.
Who did?
Okay.
LSU Shreveport.
Shreveport.
Yeah.
Perfect. Lock
They're
it in.
disgusting.
That's my
Yeah.
pick. I'm sticking to it. Man, this is going to be a freaking blast.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, it'll be good. It'll be a bucket list for sure, right? To see these renovations and to go to a college baseball blue blood and to face off against the Yankees, if you will, in Arkansas. So I'm excited, man. All right, Moana 2 calls. I love you guys. I miss you guys a lot. An hour in. I love my girlfriend. I hope she doesn't break up with me. But college baseball fans, you better never break up with me or I'll be heartbroken. 11.7 till I die. Love you guys.
Did he expect us?
Are you going to leave or what? Thank you.
Yeah. Did he expect us to say "I love you" back?
He moved to DC and he spent 4 days in DC. I love it. Does anybody else want to go prior to me, or you want me to pick the series?
I'll go. I'll go.
Ooh.
Listen, I don't know how to phrase this. Arkansas played too good last week. I don't know if they can replicate what they did against Texas. And they're going into a hostile environment with a pissed off fan base of LSU who feels like they got cheated last weekend at College Station. I think LSU takes this series pretty handedly. Give me Cade Anderson and Anthony Ianson back to back. Win both of those games. Don't worry about Sunday.
Ben, your pulse meter is working again. It's coming back. I don't know if you put new batteries in or what, but your pulse readings are back. LSU is not losing this series at home. Arkansas played perfect baseball last week, and they do not do it again. LSU's coming off a 8th inning home run off of Caden Sorrell's bat to lose that series in College Station. They're not losing. They are not losing this series. Because you know why? The Georgia Bulldogs are going to win the SEC. And in order to win the SEC, they need an LSU series win this weekend. Give me the Tigers in Baton Rouge and Alex Bach.
Yeah, I've been all right in the 11.7 pick'em contest, but betting wise, I feel like I haven't had one of my better years. And I think I'm using too much logic and not enough handicapping the emotion of especially the SEC. A lot of times I'm getting a little cute because books are trying to just manage money. There's also just larger VIG this year. It seems like a larger hold on some of the favorites. And I've gotten cute. To me, the SEC this season, it really seems like the more desperate team has won a lot of these series. And if there really isn't like an edge in desperation, that's when it goes to the home team in the series. And LSU's 28-4 at the box. They won a big series against Tennessee when they had just gotten, I think they had just gotten swept by Auburn, and they bounced back against Tennessee. LSU's been in the spot. I really do believe that they'll be able to once again get up and be more desperate than the other team. Arkansas's coming in a little fat and happy. They're reading a lot of the headlines talking about how their best is better than anybody else's in the country. And I do believe that. I said that last episode myself. I think they're one of the teams that I'd feel really confident about circling in as my national championship pick. The other team, or one of the other teams, is this LSU Tigers team. So I'm going to take the Bayou Bengals.
You know what's crazy? I was just thinking about it as you said that, Noah, and I've been thinking about it. In college baseball, betting, picking, doing whatever, quantitative things aren't as helpful. Like quantitative metric, quantitative trend. Like in MLB, in basketball, NBA, in football, whatever. I feel like there's quantitative trend that can really give you an edge. In college baseball, how many times have we seen the numbers tell you one thing and complete opposite happen?
Dude, I tell everybody that's new that jumps in during the postseason time, it is the hardest sport to bet. One, because the best baseball team doesn't win every single game. I mean, just look at the Dodgers pre-2024. It just didn't happen. They spent the most money. It didn't happen until 2024. But you throw enough darts at the dartboard, you're going to throw a bullseye. And it's amateur baseball. Not only is it the sport of baseball, it's amateur baseball. There are more errors. There are more mistakes and miscues on the base paths than there is in MLB and in the minor leagues. There's just more mental lapses in baseball, and especially in the amateur level. And betting it is a roller coaster, and you just have to enjoy the ride.
I have the perfect stat to back you up there, Noah, and to back you up, Dimitri. I wrote it down in prep for the show today. So I do get the benefits of working for Synergy Sports, both in the baseball side of things and the softball side of things. I'm equally invested in both in my job. Quadrant 4 losses for the top 30 teams in RPI for both Division I baseball and Division I softball. Division I baseball, the top 30 RPI have 34 quadrant 4 losses. Okay? So each team averages 1.4 quadrant 4 losses for the season. In Division I softball, there is 3 quadrant 4 losses for the top 30 teams combined. Like that's 10 per, like everybody's averaging 0.1 loss to a quadrant 4 team. And like that backs up your point where the best team doesn't always win in college baseball. And it's very hard in the postseason. We've seen some chalkier postseasons the last couple, but even historically, even if you see a team minus 600 on the money line, does not mean they're going to win. So it's a very tough sport. And we don't have a 162 game sample size. We get 56, and that's a third of the MLB season. Like imagine right now if we were like, oh, Aaron Judge is hitting 428. He's going to hit 428 throughout the whole season. It's like, no, we know he's going to go through a slump at some point. Same thing with these teams and with these players.
Yeah, softball records or softball records, are crazy. In Oklahoma, I think it was Oklahoma won 3 straight national championships or whatever. Like that's just never going to happen. 4. Yeah, it's different. It's a completely different sport.
Yep.
Guy, before we move on.
Dimitri Survivor.
Oh, we need it.
These are the 3 series I put.
And Colin Wilkes is a LSU fan, right?
I think he is.
Yeah, he definitely is. Your running mate is going to go LSU here.
Do I do this just for the hell of it? Or do I do this? Or do I do this? I'm picking a road team here. I want you guys to help me make this pick. Because I want Wilkes to win. I want him to win.
Both Ben and I took Creighton. Both Ben and I took LSU. So
And you both took Alabama, didn't you?
No.
No, he took Georgia.
All right. Here's what we're going to do. Ben, are you colorblind, right?
He is.
Yeah.
Can you see all these colors?
I can see the top three, or like the upper the reds, and then like the non-reds. I can see that LSU is a darker blue than Creighton, and Xavier is the darkest blue. I can see shades.
LSU had the dark blue. Is that what you just said?
Yeah, the reds all look the same to me, though. Yeah.
LSU had the dark blue.
Or purple. I know they're purple, but it's the
Okay, but
darker
in your eyes they're purple or blue.
I don't see purple.
Interesting. No, does that mean I take Arkansas because he can't see the other team?
I don't know, man. It's up to you. I mean, you've went, 12 weeks without any special method
I know,
of
but
picking
I'm
the
ready.
games.
I'm ready for Wilkes to just win it because I feel like
go mano y mano. Just go Arkansas. Mano y mano. You know he's going to go LSU. Mano y mano. May the best man win.
like just for the listeners out there and for the YouTube watchers, I would probably take Xavier here if I was being serious, or it would be Xavier LSU. Those would be
You
my
wouldn't
two
take
picks. I have to
Georgia?
What?
You wouldn't go Georgia? Your Bulldogs?
I mean, I would literally either go Georgia, LSU, or Xavier, and then I would be like, I'm not going to trust Xavier. I'm going to trust one of these big boys. So then it would become LSU, Georgia, and then I would go. I don't want to pick against the Hogs. They're hot. I don't want to pick against them, so I would end up with Georgia.
That
So
would
you know
be
what? We're going with Georgia.
Yeah.
All right, we're going Georgia.
Yep. I like it, Dimitri. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Good.
All right.
Ben the Needle Upton. Do we have a show outline here?
Yeah, we do. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is there's actually a conference tournament going on this weekend, and it's
Yes, there
the
is.
Patriot League action starts on the 10th, which is Saturday. So it's one game Saturday, two, and then one Sunday, possibly two on Sunday. And it's a semifinals, best 2 out of 3. So Patriot League is always, one plays 4 in a 3-game series. If you win 2 out of 3, you move to the next weekend and play the championship, 2 versus 3. You play the winner there. So right now we have Holy Cross as the 1 seed, and they won the league pretty handedly in the regular season. They also have a win over Auburn this year. They've looked the best out of anybody. They play against Lehigh, and Holy Cross is the home team. And then we get the always 11.7 favorite Army versus Navy. And it's at Navy this year. Typically, it's at Army when they play in the postseason. But the winner of that series plays in the championship. So any thoughts here in the Patriot League Conference tournament? Do we like Army still, who has they've run the league the last decade?
We were going through this to figure out who our auto bid was going to be. And you already plugged the show. But, yeah, we did our bracketology yesterday. And I felt good about picking Holy Cross. I had looked through the schedule, like you mentioned. They had beaten Auburn, but they also didn't drop a single series to Army, Navy, or Lehigh earlier this season, too. Whether it be a 2-gamer, just a doubleheader on a weekend, or a 4-game weekend against one of these teams, they won every single set. So I kind of like the Crusaders this year. They seem like the strongest team on paper and on the field.
They do, but Dimitri, what is rule number 1 of 11.7? Army in the Patriot
to win
League.
the Patriot until otherwise.
Yep.
Give me Army until further.
Now, Navy did beat them in a series this year
regular
already.
season.
Yeah.
Like,
Army in the
here's the
postseason.
thing. Here's the thing. Army had a rough regular season, but when it comes to postseason time, you just can't fade the Black Knights. They're like, if they lose it next year, we can reevaluate who is the best team in the Patriot. But until then, you pick Army.
That's fair. I'm right there with you, D. Some other show outlines that I have. Speaking about the midweek, we got an awesome game between Clemson visiting Conway, South Carolina, with Coastal coming out with the victory. I think Coastal is very much deserving to be in the national seed conversation now. Like, they have stepped up every way possible except for that series loss to Troy. The only complaint that you could make about Coastal is they don't have a signature weekend series win this year that they can really pound their chest about. They've done everything else right. And this is a completely different structured team. Matt Williams, the new pitching coach, has done a 180 from what their pitching staff has been the last 5 years. And they're not this home run, live and die by the long ball type of team. We saw it last night against Clemson, working walks, hitting behind runners, not swinging for the fences every time. The misconception that's going to happen when the postseason comes around, whether Coastal is the 7 national seed or the 11 regional host, I think you're going to get a lot of SEC and ACC fans like really looking forward, like, hey, let's get in that Coastal regional and we'll be fine. I don't think it's going to work like that this year. Coastal is a dangerous team. There is no weaknesses defensively. I think his name is Wells Sykes, played better center field than Cam Canarella yesterday, which is nuts. But yeah, I think Coastal is the real deal.
How about Kevin Schnall and Steve Sabins putting both of their teams in position to be in that national host conversation in their first year? That's incredible stuff. And also incredible stuff by Randy Mazey and Gary Gilmore to put him in that spot. So,
and I think both Sabins and Schnall would give all of the credit to their headmasters from last year, mentors. Like they were a part of the staffs for a long time, waiting for this opportunity, and now here they are. So
I think I made that face when you said Coastal in the national seed, and it's not because I don't want them to. It's more so I think they need to kind of earn it. I want them to take it and leave no doubt. And I think for them to do that, they need to win a Sun Belt title against Southern Miss in the championship game. If that happens, you stamp them, you write it with the Sharpie, Coastal as a national seed. I think they need to win that Sun Belt tournament to be a national seed. And also, what was I going to say? I was going to say, the game last night, I couldn't believe that was their first time selling it out. But I think it was more so they packed it out as much as they could with standing room only ticket for it to officially count, because there's so much space around that field. It takes a while to sell out.
The way it was explained to me and why it was their first official sell out is anytime you build a new building or construction, whatever facility you're building, I think it's the fire marshal actually puts a maximum capacity in there for safety stuff, and they reached that maximum capacity for the stadium yesterday for the first time ever. So they've sold out the seats plenty of times, but this time they were not letting anybody else in the stadium.
So that means they just maxed out the standing room only from a safety standpoint. That's so cool.
I like it. I would just prefer a different term, because I know everybody else uses the term sellout because they sold all their available tickets and now they're on third market and they're still be sold. The Coastal sellout was everybody was literally in the ballpark. That was great.
Yeah, it's a max out. It's kind of like lifting weights. You cannot push up any more weight. You're maxed out.
Coastal Field gave me a lot of Florida Condren family ballpark vibe. Those grass burned out, they were packed out. And Florida does that week in and week out, but they don't have that outfield terracing. They have that little cutout next to the bullpens where fans can kind of hang out. But that terrace level, seeing all those fans out there at Coastal was super cool. And I saw a video of they were just absolutely annihilating the Clemson bullpen.
Yes. Well, Clemson can deserve that because they built in a little nook for their fans to annihilate.
Oh, that's right. What goes around comes around.
Yes.
But yeah, that's going to be super exciting to watch Coastal, see if they can really solidify themselves as the national seed, because I think the hosting spot is right there.
Yep. The next segment that I have here is going to be a quick one, but I do want to share what you posted on Twitter today, Dimitri, with the It's the graph with the last 4 teams in from 2024, 2023, 22, all the way down to 2017. So last 4 in and the first 4 out, just to give these college baseball fans listening a better idea of like where they need to be RPI wise, strength of schedule wise, and conference record wise. I think this tells a lot of the story. Now, there are certain scenarios where these schools have representation on the committee and they get in, and it's very obvious which schools have that representation because they'll be RPI number 59 with the 38 strength of schedule, and they're getting in the tournament over RPI 36 with a better conference record. So pull that up and share your screen there. I think it's really, really good work what you did because college baseball is unique where the selection committee is different every single year. It's not the same 10 members picking consistently. It's like they rotate in and out. Sometimes you'll have a guy serve for 2 years, 3 years, or whatever, but this is the graphic. So the ones that stood out to me, and I still remember this like daylight, 2019 TCU gets into the tournament with a 59 RPI, 32 and 26 overall, and a below 500 conference record. They were 11 and 12 in the Big 12 that year. And the teams next to them, and I still remember the outrage, like Texas State felt like they needed to be in. I don't know how Missouri didn't get in with a 13, 16, and 1 SEC record plus a 31 RPI. And I remember on that conference call, we did the conference call with the committee after, and they said their reasoning was because of TCU's historic success in the postseason. We picked them. And at that point, like I lost all of my innocence to this great game of college baseball. And I was like, oh, this is a business. Like they want a TCU team that's been in the College World Series 3 of the last 4 years at this point in the tournament because they know they have a big fan base and they're talented and they recruit well. But there were more deserving teams like Houston and UCF, Texas State, and Missouri that year.
And
So
I dug up an old tweet that you tweeted out regarding committee members and on the selection committee. For the listeners, 2022, Florida State had an RPI of 29, 33 and 23 overall record, a 15 and 15 conference record in the ACC with a strength of schedule of 4. And they were a last 4 in. NC State got hosed with a 32 RPI, 14 and 15 conference record. I forget what their composite was, including the ACC tournament, with a strength of schedule of 26, and they were left out as the first 4 out. That year, there was a committee member representing numerous conferences. There was one conference from the Power 4 or Power 5 at the time that did not have representation. Bingo, you got it. The ACC did not have representation. In no way, shape, or form should Florida State, an RPI 29 with the strength of schedule at 4, be a last 4 in. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. And I remember that. That was Tommy White's freshman year, and they made it to the semifinals or the finals of the ACC tournament that year. And that was back-to-back years the NCAA screwed NC State. I remember thinking, oh, my God, like they hate this team. But it was because there was no ACC representation at the committee meetings when they were picking the bracket. And you're absolutely right, Dimitri. Like, why isn't 29 RPI in the last
guys
makes no sense.
The reason why I think NC State was really screwed because off the top of my dome, I think they lost in the ACC tournament final.
They lost in the championship game
to North Carolina.
They did lose in the championship.
I blew a gasket because Ole Miss got into the field. Personally, like I always this year it's going to be even worse than normal. I hate the benchmark. Just get to 13 and 17 in the SEC. I hate it. I despise it because you reward like just get to that mark and you're in. Half of these teams, more than half of these teams are playing Missouri, and half of these teams are playing both Missouri and South Carolina, and the two of them have combined for a record of 5 and 40. And I just if you're giving 5 wins to the SEC teams that are cleaning up on those two teams, it's crazy. And yet
Yeah, it's basically go get 8 wins this year out of the next 21
And yet
games.
NC State combines for, I think it was like 18 ACC wins or 17 ACC wins.
It would be 18. It would be 17. You're right.
It just
And
it,
look,
it drove me up a
I'll
wall.
So I'll do everybody a favor here. I've said it like the last 3 or 4 podcasts, but this is very vital information. It's the committee members for this season. It's Southern Miss, Jacksonville State, Kent State, Portland, Southeastern Louisiana, who's going to be on the bubble, Indiana, East Carolina, Florida State, Kansas State, who's going to be on the bubble, and they had committee representation last year, and they got in on the bubble. They weren't even listed as a last 4 in, and their RPI was much higher than 33 UCF. And then the Florida Gators. So they also have representation on the committee as well. Another team last year that was somehow not listed in the last 4 in from 2024, and they were 1 game above 500 last year, right? Like whole season, and they were what 13 and 17 in SEC play.
Yep.
Nope, not a last 4 in. So anyway,
yeah, I also think important information. Ole Miss won the Natty the year that I was screaming that they.
Oh, you want to? So look at this. Look at this.
Crazy.
And Oklahoma in 2023 was a last 4 in, and they made it all the way to the finals. Could have won a national championship.
No, that was 22.
No, that was
they
22.
got in because they were in the
right.
final the year prior.
2017. Hold on, I'm going to tell you guys right now. I'm going to tell you guys right now. There's 4 or 5 teams from the last 4 in since 2017 that have made it to Omaha. It is.
I can name
it.
It
is. You want to name them?
2019
Michigan in 2019, last 4 in, they made it to the championship.
Ole Miss, 2022.
Florida State in 2019, they made it. Mike Martin's last year.
That's 2.
2022 Ole Miss.
Ole Miss in 22.
That's 3. There's one more.
Arizona in 2023.
Nope.
UCLA in 2017.
Nope.
Auburn in 2017.
Nope. Texas A&M in 2017.
Oh,
and then there's one more team that has made a super regional but did not make Omaha from the last 4 in.
I would say I don't know. Off the top
I'll
of
give
my
you
head,
a clue.
I don't
It's
know.
also 2019.
Duke played Vanderbilt, and they got no hit by Kumar Rocker.
Yep. So 2019, 3 of the last 4 in went to Super Regional or Omaha.
Wow. One almost won the national championship. If it wasn't for Vanderbilt in 2019, Michigan would have won the national championship, and Duke would have went to Omaha.
Yep.
That's awesome. But like some of those first 4 outs are hilarious. Kentucky in 2018 had a 25 RPI and didn't make the tournament.
Miami was 16-13 in the ACC top 10 strength of schedule in 2017, left out.
So the reason I made this graphic is also just for visual. I enjoy doing these kind of things. It just takes me down memory road and stuff like that. But the reason why I did this was because people truly, there's a lot of new fans joining college baseball. Every single day, every week, every year, there's more fans that just don't quite understand the selection process. And there are a lot of mid-majors. We love covering the mid-major. And this is extremely one of the most exciting and saddest days of the year for mid-majors. They get their dreams crushed by some Power 4 school that arguably probably didn't deserve it.
Yeah.
If you look at the strength of schedule of all these last 4 teams in, I said it. What do you notice?
There's only one with a strength of schedule larger than 100.
Mm-hmm. And that was 2017 Michigan. So 2018 to 2024, no bubble team got in with a strength of schedule over 100. So if you're a mid-major fan and you're maybe on the bubble, if you're a Power 4 fan and your team's going to be on the bubble or you guys are going to be really close, take a look at your strength of schedule. See if you need to stay off that bubble. You really got to stay off that bubble because now they're going to analyze every single metric of your resume and compare it to the next guy. Just stay off the bubble.
And that's what screwed Charleston last year. Charleston got left out when they won the CAA regular season by a good bit, 41-14 overall, but the committee was very quick to point out, oh, they had 112 strength of schedule. And it's like, no, you're just taking care of your buddies. Like Coastal got in, Indiana got
Kansas
in,
State.
Florida got in,
Guys,
Kansas State
how
got
did
in.
TCU not get in over James Madison?
That was a weird one. I don't know.
Historical trends say the Power Four gets in over the mid-major there every single time.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, it was weird. But yeah, that's something to monitor. We have nothing to go off of for this year, but I thought the graphic was great because there was a lot of patterns.
The Big 12 rep wanted Kansas State in instead of TCU. That's why TCU got left out. He fought for K-State, right? The representative of Kansas State.
I forgot about that. You're right.
Right. Yeah, it was Kansas State's rep. It's funny. I have a theory this year, since Kansas State's AD is on the committee this year, they are 100% going to send Kansas to the number 1 overall seed as a 2 seed or a 3 seed. Like just watch. Kansas will go to the toughest regional because K-State's AD is on
Send
the
them to
committee.
Texas.
maybe I'll do maybe I'll do the same graphic for host bubbles and national seed bubble.
Right. Well, do you remember in 2023 when Auburn hosted?
Yeah.
And they were like 19 RPI, and 1 through 15 was literally 1 through 15.
Then they went straight to 19.
Auburn had a rep on the committee. So
Auburn Cohen was the chairman that year, and he made sure he had a regional. And they went 0-2 in that regional.
They sure did.
Good riddance.
They got quaked.
They had like what I think people would call a soft regional too. It was Southern Miss, Penn, and who's the 3 seed?
And
Stanford.
Yeah.
So,
all right. So the last segment we're going to do here, let's go through the top 25 and let's pick an upset. Somebody who is unranked that will win 2 out of 3 against the top 25 team this weekend. It's Noah's favorite thing to do. Noah fights for this.
What were our picks last week? This is also my favorite thing to do, is try to remember who we picked, because we
go to last week's. Go to last Friday, Dimitri. I'll remember.
Yeah, me too.
I'll
remember mine when I see it too.
I want to say we all picked Texas A&M.
No, I picked Texas A&M though. I said that's the obvious one, and you guys didn't go with it.
I think
Dimitri picked. No, Dimitri, you picked Troy and I picked Miami. No, you picked South Alabama. Troy.
Yeah, and they had it, dude.
I picked
Miami. It. South Alabama had it. Noah, do you know what happened? Do you know what happened in that Sunday game against Troy and South Alabama?
No, I was at Oregon, Michigan State. I honestly didn't catch it.
South Al blew it in the 9th inning to win the series with a go-ahead grand slam.
Oh, wow.
It was.
All right, so our options this week are Duke against Clemson, Georgia Tech hosting Louisville, South Carolina, Auburn, Kansas State, West Virginia, Illinois, UCLA, Kennesaw State, Dallas Baptist, Arkansas State, Troy, Utah, Arizona, Louisiana Lafayette versus Southern Miss, Iowa against Oregon State. We got a lot of options. Bakersfield against Irvine, Cal against Florida State, Washington against Oregon, Florida against Texas, Mississippi State against Ole Miss, and Kentucky against Oklahoma. Wow. A lot of options.
Do I have the hammer since I got last weekend correct too? I mean, Ben could go as well, right? So
no, you go first. This is your favorite thing that you do. So I'll let you lead.
Georgia Tech. They win the series over Louisville. Louisville's 0-4 in ACC Road Series. Mic drop.
Mic drop.
Do I go spicy here? Like super, super spicy?
We love spicy.
Tell me this. Emotional midweek win. Sellout crowd.
Oh, no.
The Warhawks of Louisiana Monroe come to town. Ultimate look-ahead weekend. I'm going to do it. I'll take ULM to beat Coastal 2 out of 3.
Wow.
ULM's not terrible this year. They're not good, but they're like just frisky enough. Give me ULM catching Coastal sleeping.
I think if there was a series I wanted to pick, that I think it's going to be Kentucky over Oklahoma. I don't know why, but I feel like Kentucky, the Oklahoma strength is starting pitching. Kentucky knows how to manufacture run. Oklahoma is not by any means the scariest offensive team in the SEC, by any means. Kentucky can find a way to manufacture run no matter who is pitching. They need one run, they'll get it.
I
They
think
need
both
two
of
runs,
their I think both of their team identities are very similar.
So, but I think Kentucky is just a little bit better at it. If you know what I mean? Like, I think Kentucky just done it longer. They're just better at it. Oklahoma's got a little more star power where they can hit some bombs and stuff. And Kentucky just really lives and dies by the small ball and the chaos on the base pass. So I think if I would go Kentucky, but I would not be surprised.
I could give you a reason for every team.
I mean, yeah, I'm
to
sitting here
pull off
looking at all of them. I'm like, maybe Duke.
Like, there's a lot more obvious ones. I went spicy with ULM just because college baseball, sometimes you think you know what's going to happen, and like everybody in the world is on Coastal. Like, ULM's like not frisky enough. But like, for example, I think the most popular pick would probably be Georgia Tech against Louisville. But like, I can make a case for Duke against a struggling Clemson team that just played a tough midweek. Kansas State at home, that's going to be popular. Kennesaw is good. Like, they're second place in the conference.
Yeah.
We've seen Dallas Baptist slip up this year at home. Let's see. Like, Utah's not going to beat Arizona 2 out of 3. No shot. Bakersfield will not beat Irvine 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
Now, Dimitri, you did say Cal hosting Florida State was going to be sneaky last week on the podcast.
Yeah.
Florida State has to fly all the way out to Cal right after finals
After
week.
beating Clemson a weekend series.
Mm-hmm.
And then winning a somewhat energetic and emotional midweek against Jacksonville. I think it was pretty close for the first 6 or 7 innings. I think maybe I'm getting it confused, but I think that was what it was. But yeah, I'll ride with Kentucky over Oklahoma. Hey, one more thing, Ben. Is that the last thing on your checklist?
Yeah, that was the
So
last
I
thing
wanted to do something with you guys. You guys did a bracketology. So this is usually the bubble range. You know, like the 60 is like the ultimate no more than that, and like the 35 to like 60 range, 40 to 60 range. I'm just gonna ask you a team, and you're just gonna say yes or no. Are they gonna make it? And you can give a little explanation if you want to. Cal Poly.
No. Look at the remaining schedule. The RPI is going to drop like a rock in water.
Yeah. They have no good series wins. They've lost the series to Oregon State, UC Irvine, UCLA, and Texas A&M. So no good series wins. Big West has nobody on the committee, no representation. Like, that's a formula for disaster. They're not getting in unless they win the conference.
Wow. Northridge and Riverside. Oh, crap. I thought you guys were looking with me.
When you open up the new window, it doesn't.
Yeah. So Northridge and Riverside, you can't cancel those. You got to play them.
Yep.
Swept by Irvine, lost 2 out of 3. I mean, their biggest series win is literally Hawaii, which isn't decent, but it's not anything spectacular.
They
lost 2 out of 3.
That Fullerton series win is aging better.
Yeah, but that's just not enough in the committee's eyes. I don't think the committee would care about that one.
Nope.
All right.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Cal Poly is not getting it. No.
So UT Rio Grande Valley.
In.
I had them in. I think the Southland, they have representation, including Southeastern Louisiana's committee member. I think the Southland's going to get 2 teams in the tournament.
So their conference tournament start next weekend.
Yep.
Yeah, next weekend, and they're hosting their bracket. The Southland, great tournament. It's 2 regional pods. UTRGV is going to host one, and then probably Southeastern Louisiana, as long as they don't fumble the bag this weekend. Those will be the 2 regional pods, and then they play a super regional. The 2 winners of the regionals play a super regional against each other.
Yeah. So yeah, I think either the Southland could maybe be a 2-bid league.
And I think they're going to push for it.
I think they deserve it.
Oh, so UTRGV finished conference play a week early because
Yep.
they still got a series left.
As long as Southeastern Louisiana doesn't lose 2 out of 3 to Nicholls State, they'll host
The tournament bracket.
Yeah, the Southland
Right.
tournament.
So okay, Northeastern.
I think they're in.
You're going north where we feel even better about some of these teams, right? Weren't you going to go like
this is
35
right here.
to
That is
50?
really concerning. 5-5 against top 100 with 0 top quad 1 win. This is concerning.
They won the CAA by 6 games.
Okay, but Charleston, don't forget Charleston a year ago, and it's much tougher CAA. Northeastern, I mean, this is like 33 is okay, but let's see what they've got left. 33 is pretty safe, but I'm telling you,
if they win 43 games this year, which they're on pace for, then
Coastal 149, Campbell
Charlotte,
149 didn't get in.
Charleston won 40 plus last year too, and they didn't get in.
Dude, you got to win this one.
That Utah game is going to be huge.
You've got to win.
That'll be their only quad 1 game.
Mm-hmm.
They already have a win over UConn this year, and 2 wins over Kansas State.
How is this? Oh, because it's not top 25 RPI at home, so it's a quad 2 win.
Yeah, 2 wins against Kansas State. They're going to be a team that probably gets in the field because they have representation.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I think Northeastern needs to make the CAA championship game and finish out strong. Because this is going to dip to about 38. Going to be 37 to 42, I think, when it's all said and done. Okay. All right. Here we go. This is where it gets fun. Kentucky.
We both put them in. We think that they'll get to that 13 threshold, and they don't play against Missouri. So it's like 13 true wins in the SEC.
Yeah.
Okay. What does Kentucky have left? Oklahoma and Vandy.
I honestly wanted them out because I can't bank that they're going to win 3 games. But I think Ben sold me on they'll add a win in Hoover, and a committee member is not going to leave them out. So
Troy.
So this one's tough. Troy hasn't lost a weekend series all season long. I would like to have a team that has that to their resume in the field. However, they have work to do.
It depends on how they do against Southern Miss, that final weekend series.
This is massive.
They have a win against
This is so massive.
Especially if they host.
They just can't sweep, dude. Troy refuses to sweep.
And the fact that they can't sweep makes me concerned against Southern Miss because it's already going to be hard to win too.
Yeah, and it's a home series against Southern Miss, so it's going to be a quad 2 series for them.
Yep.
Potentially.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Okay, Western Kentucky.
I had them out, unfortunately.
I think I'm with you on this one.
This is the one where you circle that non-conference strength of schedule and just the strength of schedule.
I mean, that's just, how disgusting is 285? Literally only 20 teams play a weaker non-conference schedule.
That's why we said last night on the podcast that Kentucky and Western Kentucky need to schedule another midweek before the season's over. Like next week, call them up. Hey, let's play. Because neither of them have a midweek.
Yeah, I even think that Rocco said have Rio Grande play Western Kentucky in a weekend series or in a midweek 2-game set. I mean,
Can you do that? Can you legally just hurry up and schedule a game as long as you're under 56?
Florida
total?
did it last year.
As long as you stay under 56, you can do whatever you want, right?
Yeah.
Jesus, dude. All right, yeah, because I think Xavier. This is going to be key for them. That number 3 non-conference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Big East is only going to get 2
We
teams
left-
in, and I don't think
we
they'll get
left
30.
Xavier
So it depends on who wins this week.
Yeah, dude. I think Xavier can be out as well.
The Big East has no representation on the committee, so I hate to be cliche, but they're not going to fight for a third team out of that
And the
conference.
finish
you know
is
what?
tough at
Yeah.
Creighton, at Penn State. It's like, how many games did they win in here?
People forget, guys. All these teams in this range, all these teams from 1 to 30 to 35, 30, let's just say 30, that don't win the automatic bid, these teams take the stolen bid, or these teams in the 80s, 90s, 100 take those bids. This right here, this 55 to 40 shrinks even more. That large bids left. So people got to remember that there's going to be stolen bids. So yeah, I think it's going to be a really sad day for Cal Poly and some of these other teams.
Dimitri, I woke up to a text today in the 11.7 group chat about a team that was in the mid 60s in the RPI that you were upset that got in.
Oh, well, let me bring up the screen in the mid 60s. What team is that?
You got to ask Ben.
It was Virginia. Virginia is going to be fine. Like, as long as they win their next 2 weekend series in the ACC, they'll be above 500 in conference play. They are. They're both quad 1. Those are all 6 quad 1 games, and then you get George Mason, who's going to be quad 2 and probably going to win their conference. So those next 7 games are important.
Let's just say
I think Virginia is going to be okay. Get to 14 or 15 ACC wins, and you have the argument that you also had an ACC series canceled against you against the top 10 RPI team that could have helped your RPI. And you should get in on the flat number of ACC wins, just like SEC teams get in on SEC wins.
So
that's
they
Virginia's
finish.
case.
So let's just say 4-2, 15-12. 15-12, that RPI is going to go from 68. I would expect it to be somewhere between 48
I'll pull up
and
Boyd's World.
mid to lower 50s, high 40s. Plus the ACC tournament, I think Virginia gets in too.
Yeah, I think Virginia, just win the next 2 weekends and you're fine.
Here's a very interesting scenario. That team highlighted right there.
Iowa, the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Very interesting.
First place. I think if you win the Big Ten regular season, they deserve an at-large bid. As long as their RPI is below 60, which it will be. They get 3 versus Oregon State, 3 against Oregon. All going to be quad 1 games. That's 6 more quad 1 games. They're going to be fine.
Yeah, and they're already 4-0 against quad 1. So they're going to finish probably finish with a winning record against quad 1 team. That RPI.
Yeah, even if they get 1-5, that's 5-5 against quad 1s. That's good.
And then, I think their RPI is going to skyrocket the next 2 weeks, because I think this will be in the top 50 by Big Ten tournament time.
Yeah, I had Iowa and Virginia both comfortably in.
Which means these teams are in more danger.
Mm-hmm.
Because what are the odds that Iowa wins the Big Ten tournament? I would say slim, just on a numbers game, pretty slim. That's another.
They play well
RPI?
in Omaha. They play well in the Big Ten tournament.
No, I'm talking like the full predictive RPI.
Yeah.
Scroll up, you know where it's at, right there. I just want to see where they have Virginia and Iowa in the predicted RPI.
53.
Virginia at 53.
What did I say? High 40s, low 50s.
Yep. And I think they get in 16-11 with the 53.
Look at K-State right before them. Look at K-State at 52. Yeah. They're in.
I don't see Iowa yet, which is scary. Keep
Well,
going
yeah, they're
down.
probably not favored to win those games.
Yeah, they have Iowa.
They have no
dropping.
look at this. Look at that.
So they have them winning.
They have them at 4 and 5.
So they
Yeah, that's not a good
lose a
And,
couple of quad one games there.
Yep. It seems like they lose a whole series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, hey, Noah, we got to get these boys in there.
Mercer.
We do.
And look at Mercer right behind Virginia and Kansas State, 54 RPI. Don't let Mercer get in that large.
This
Don't let it
is
happen.
going to be interesting.
We are interesting. Big Michigan is very interesting. The thing that I'm nervous about is that non-conference strength of schedule. But Michigan's finish is strong. They have at Nebraska, who's got a good RPI. It's mid-60s. And then home against Indiana, who has a 71 RPI. I think if you stay clean, you get into the Big Ten tournament, you need to make noise there too. Now you got a high 40, and you have a shot, but I still think they're on the outside looking in.
Michigan had everything in front of them, I think.
Yeah, that was kind of what I was just
Yeah.
explaining, but I still think they're on the outside
Guys,
looking in.
Guys, this is bad. Southeastern Louisiana, Western Kentucky, Xavier, Northeastern.
Southeastern Louisiana's fine. They've got their AD on the committee.
Yeah, but I mean, a Southland team at 49 is pushing it.
They're getting in because Kansas State's behind them. So,
Yeah. I mean, Texas A&M is going to be here. You know, they're getting in over all of those teams. Guys. 23 quad one game for the Texas Tech Red Raiders. They have it predicted 17 and 13 finish in the Big 12 to 48 with the number 2 non-conference strength schedule.
yeah, but they're
The Red
6
Raiders
and
are in.
17 against quad one.
Doesn't matter.
How many
Number 2
opportunities do they need to prove that they're
hey,
not a good team?
I'm going to correct you. Texas, in this scenario, Texas Tech won't be eligible. They're 24 and 28 regular
Oh my
season. They've gotta
God,
be
you're
above
right.
500.
Yeesh.
You are right. Oh my God, they're 11 games under. They've got to win the Big 12 tournament. If they sweep this, they're 5 game under. Big 12 tournament.
No, you have to be six.
Do
You
they
have to go
have
6
5?
more.
Can they play 5 games in the Big? Can they win 5 games
No,
in the Big 12? Is there even enough games?
it's not enough games.
How many games played do they have
That's
this season? They would have finished at 24-28. So that's 52 games. They can schedule three midweeks.
They're 11 games under 500. They've got 6 regular seasons, so they need 5 wins in the Big 12 tournament. Where's the bracket?
They can schedule 3 midweeks at least.
Yeah,
If my
dude.
math
I mean,
is
wait,
correct.
hold on. How many games do they have?
52.
52, 38, 40. No,
That's
50.
45 right there.
They'll have 50.
51.
51. Like I said, my math wasn't correct. So
51
Yeah.
games.
So they have 5 games remaining. Dude, just schedule 5 games again. Freaking Houston. I mean, who knows? UTSA.
Rio Grande's right out there with them.
Oh, my God. Texas Tech's not going to get in with 17 Big 12 wins.
They won't even be close.
Big 12 tournament. Where's the bracket? Give me a bracket. Okay, let's just say Texas Tech. What are they? I mean, hold on. Is there even enough games? 1?
You're wasting way too much time on Texas Tech. They literally cannot get above 500.
They can't get above 500.
They got to schedule games to get.
No.
What a travesty. If I'm Tadlock, I am on the phone calling every school in Texas to play 4 games. Call up every team to get. My God. All right. Anyway, it's gonna be fun.
I love how fired up Dimitri gets about bracketology. He loves it more than anybody. I was surprised he didn't show up to the
5:45 a.m. for him right now.
Guys, you want to see?
Fired up.
Daylight out there in Italy.
The sun coming up.
Nice. Well, this is a good stopping point. We appreciate everybody for listening. Thank you for listening to this episode. Go check out yesterday's episode on the YouTube or on the podcast. It's a full bracketology field of 64. We had a lot of fun doing it. Where's he
Gonna
doing?
mute him or what?
No, I shut. So in Europe they have the big. You can shut it with that rope right there. You can shut it to make it dark, so it's still nighttime for me.
Holy smokes, we heard all of that.
That was sweet.
Oh, I forgot. All right. Well,
Anyways, we'll be back Sunday night to record a pod. Only 2 weekends left before conference tournaments. Some start next weekend, so we'll preview those on Sundays as well. But you guys enjoy your college baseball. Tell a friend about college baseball. Let's get more fans out there. We always enjoy this part of the year. So thank you for everybody who stuck with us through the first 12 weeks. We're going to make it an exciting final 2 months. So love you guys. Bye.